Hey, this is Sean with Self Publishing School. Today I want to talk to you about a tool that I've been using for about the past 4 or 5 years to help improve my writing and to help give me tips going forward so that I can just become a better writer in general, but also improve the manuscripts that I have currently as they go off to the editor and as they go out to different spots. So I use this for writing manuscripts. I also use it for blog posts and just other things that I'm writing in general. So this program is called ProWritingAid. And like I said, it's something that I use personally and I've recommended to all the authors that I work with one-on-one. And I want to show you a little bit more about it. So I'm going to jump in and screen share here and just kind of show you why I use it, some of the features that I use. And then I hope that you'll find this useful as well. And it's something that you'll like and have as part of the toolbox of things that you have as an author. All right, so I'm going to jump right in and talk to you a little bit more about ProWritingAid. We'll start here at their main website. So you just go to ProWritingAid.com. Now it says /premium just because that is the account that I have. Again, I've been a member or a user of ProWritingAid since 2017. And so it's something that I personally use and recommend. And so I'm going to show you some of the reasons I do and how I use it. So one of the things that I'm going to demonstrate is you can use their web editor. And I actually use this quite a bit because I can access it from any computer. But it also integrates with the tools that I use. So it integrates with Word and Outlook and Chrome or Safari, Firefox. But one of the things that I like is it integrates with Scrivener, which is what I use when I'm writing, and Google Docs, which is what I use when I'm doing blog posts. So it integrates with those two really easily. Now you can see some of the features as you go through here on this page, but I'm going to jump to and show you guys how I use it and when I'm writing. So I'm going to jump in, just hit Use App, and that'll log me in and take me to some of the things that I've done before. Now I pulled some of these back up to the top because I wanted to be able to demonstrate this, especially this first one here. So this is a book that I worked on with a fellow physical therapist. It's called Life After Limb Loss. It's a great book, but neither one of us are really great writers, right? We're both at this point best-selling authors, but we write like we are writing a medical report. So for us, it's super important to have someone helping us improve our writing as we go forward. And our editors do that towards the end, but this was at the start. You can see this is part 1. And so we wrote this, and then we were able to say, okay, based off of this, let's get some feedback on our writing, and then we can make part 2 and part 3 even better. All right, so you can see what it does. It goes through. Up on top, you can see some of the general reports or things you can get. So you get your core stuff, which is like grammar, thesaurus, this spelling issues, which you can get from a lot of places. But what it does go further is things like style, right? Words that are overused. Little things like that make it a big difference just in this core area. You can look at the repeats. Now, I tend to repeat words a lot, so I love to look this up and see different words that I'm repeating a lot or phrases. So I can make some adjustments there. Overall structure, length, transition. This is a great area. Readability is the one I think I use the most because I want this to be easily read by the audience and make sure I'm not using medical terms. Right, so I go through this a lot. I'll check my readability. And then for fiction authors, you can look at dialogue, pacing, sensory. So are you really using that show, don't tell kind of thing to make sure you're doing it right? And you can also look at for plagiarism if someone's submitting this or you're submitting it to a professor. I want to make sure that you are not having problems there. So those are some of the things that you can go through. And like I said, at first look, it may look like other editors. I do like that it's color-coded. I do like that it has style. You can look at style things. But I find that to be, I think it better than a lot of them out there, but it's really not what I use this for the most. I jump to the things like these readability reports. Right now, you can do a whole summary, and it'll tell you everything. And I might run that at the end just so you guys can see it. But I'm going to start, I'll jump to readability, really see kind of estimated read time. Was it easy to read? And then here's some difficult paragraphs. And let's go, you can actually go look at them, right? Here's some slightly. So if we go to these, I can now look at the paragraphs that are difficult to read, right? I can jump in and go to them. So for me, I can be able to find the areas that I need to fix and try and make sure that I'm addressing those areas. right? So I want it to be at about a ninth grade level, and that it'll give me in the overall report kind of where that's at. One of the other things I find is sticky words. So words that are going to kind of slow down people as they go through, right? And so sticky words can be things like the most common words, then, of, those types of things. And I find I use them a lot. And so I can go in and start to look at those in detail, and it'll give me some of the things that are used in there, right? And so I can look at those specific sentences that may be slowing my reader down, and maybe I can get rid of some words. So again, there's just so many tools to improve writing. And once you start to learn what you're doing, then you can improve that writing. So I use this in two ways. Number one, as a tool to improve, so the next thing I write is even better. And then the second thing is actually as a step before the editor. So before I send this to the editor and before I do my verbal read through, I'll look through this, right? And I'll go through and do some of these real-time features. I'll also do the summary report. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this right now so you guys can see it. But the summary gives me a lot of very good feedback so that I can make changes. And again, if I make these changes before they go to the editor, I can save some money because the editor is not spending time on some of these simple things, or they can do a better job at looking at the overall picture, right? So it tells me where my document's looking good. So I said before I want about a ninth grade reading level. This is about an eighth grade, so I'm doing pretty good there. I'm not using too big medical terms. You can see where it needs work. My grammar is pretty poor, in my opinion. The style and spelling, I have a lot of glue words or a lot of sticky words. I can reduce some of these things. So I can figure out where to start with, right? And I can go through these specifically. So in grammar, I can look at the problems I'm having. Like a lot of it for me is commas. You can see I use commas in the wrong places. And if I can look at this report, I can start to go, oh yeah, I can see this as a theme, right? So it'll go through each one in detail, but it doesn't, you can also just step back and go through. You can print this, and you can keep this as you go through to continue to build as a writer. So that's one of the major things that I wanted to show you guys. The second thing that I want to show you is they're always improving this. They're always making some adjustments and improvements to this. So the grammar's check, they keep getting better. And even one of the things that I found recently was a feature that wasn't on there before. It's actually it's part of their Chrome extension. It is called Snippets. But what this is, it's a text expander. And so I actually use text expanders all the time. I have a different program that I pay for this, and now I can use it within ProWritingAid. So I can actually have an entire commonly used sentence. So I use this a lot for things like Facebook posts and just little snippets. Or if I'm responding in email, I'll have a common response. You can have a shortcut. So you can just type a small word and it'll expand out to this. So it's a text expander or snippets. And this is something new as part of their Chrome extension. So just another tool they got. And it just makes it easier. I don't have to use multiple tools now. So these are just some of the reasons I really enjoy using ProWritingAid to help get better as an author, and why I recommend it to others. So you can take a look for them at ProWritingAid.com. Definitely make sure to check out the SPS coursework and our preferred partners list, and talk to your coaches, because we've worked with them to get a special discount just for SPS students when you're purchasing ProWritingAid. So not only do we recommend it and use it, you guys can get a deal. And that's actually, I didn't get that a deal because I bought it a while ago. So you'll be paying less than I did when you get ProWritingAid. So make sure to check them out and let us know if you have any questions.